Canon takes home 5 trophies at the Technical Image Press Association, as does Sony, but how about everybody else? Well, I'm happy to announce that everybody takes home at least 1 award, with the exception of Pentax, though that's a little bit disappointing. Don't you think that they should have at least gotten awards such as, I don't know, the only DSLR maker here in 2023? Or still not producing mirrorless? Anyhow, details coming up. But first, please do me a favor. Follow me on Twitter, subscribe, share, choose all notifications, like, comment, and all that stuff. It's greatly appreciated, but most importantly, it really does help this channel grow. TIPA holds an award ceremony every year, handing out awards for cameras and lenses achieving their personal best, which are then used by marketing departments to show how their cameras and lenses are worth your hard-earned dollars. Canon received 5 awards. The first award was for the Canon EOS R3 for Best Technical Innovation. You see, the best technical innovation that they're referring to that TIPA got really excited about was the eye-controlled autofocus system, which is a surprise to some, as some consider it to be just a gimmick, but not TIPA. They were really gushing with it and thought that, wow, this eye-controlled autofocus is really innovative. It's something special that we haven't seen before. But we have. You see, eye-controlled autofocus isn't new, and it's not new to Canon. It's just that since the EOS 3, we really haven't seen it, so Canon's brought it back and made it better. TIPA members who tested eye-controlled autofocus were intrigued and impressed by how rapidly the focus point was attained, displayed in the camera's OLED electronic viewfinder. They noted how the autofocus system could continue to focus on the subject via the R3's autofocus tracking technology, including humans, animals, and vehicles. Due to its deep learning, AI autofocus and the camera's very fast and responsive back-illuminated stacked sensor and Digic-X processor. And the second camera to receive an award is the Canon EOS R5C, the cinema camera, not the R5, and it received a new award that was just created. I'm surprised this award wasn't created a few years ago. I'm beginning to get the sense it was created just for this camera. Let me read it to you because, well, it's a rather long award name, and the award that the R5C got is Best Camera Innovation and Best Professional 8K Hybrid Camera. Does sound like it was created just for this camera. Just, man, well, I don't know. I don't know much about TIPA or how they go about creating their awards, or sorry, establishing categories for their awards. But congratulations, Canon, for your R3 and the R5C. And now let's talk about their lenses. An award was given to the RF 14 to 35 millimeter for the best full-frame wide-angle zoom, and they also got the best award, or the award for the best macro, and that's the 100 millimeter f2.8 L series image stabilized USM. And I have that lens right here, and I really do, it's a really terrific lens. I only bring it out a couple of times a year, but if you're shooting anything small and up close, it's something like around 10 centimeters, which is the minimum focusing distance. It's a terrific lens. I really do love that thing. It deserves an award. I think it's great. I still think the 24 to 105 f4 is a great lens. But let's talk about their 5th award. Their 5th award is for the Canon Pixma Megatang G50. No, G650 is it. Honestly, I can't stand to hear this name. It's got nothing to do with the product. It's got nothing to do with how well it works or maintenance or anything like that. It's just that the ads we have up here in Toronto are so annoying. Every time I flip to a station and I hear them, every 2 or 3 seconds, all you hear is Megatang. And it's not in like that kind of sound. It's like Fronos does the L-Mount Alliance. Trust me, you would get tired of it too. Okay, now let's take a look at Sony. Sony received 5 awards as well, doing as well as Canon. Sony was awarded Best Full-Frame Expert Camera for the Sony a7 IV, a camera that performs very well in every market it sells into, in North America, South America, Europe, Asia, and even the only lonely store in Antarctica. I hear it's performing very well there too. And the best vlogging camera is awarded to the Sony ZV-E1. No, I'm sorry, I'm just kidding. It's a ZV-E10, a camera that performs very, very well and competes directly against the Canon EOS R50. And now on to Sony lenses. Sony received the Best Full-Frame Standard Zoom Lens Award for the FE 24-70 f2.8 GM Mark II, and they received the Best Full-Frame Telephoto Zoom Lens Award for the Sony FE 70-200 f2.8 GM OSS. Fujifilm received the Best Medium Format Camera Award for the Fujifilm GFX 50S Mark II, and Nikon received 2 awards, one for the Best Full Frame Professional Camera Award, and no surprises here, as you can tell by what I'm cueing as the B-roll, it's for the Nikon Z9, a terrific camera that still performs very, very well today. I'd love to own this camera myself. It's just a terrific camera. And the Best APS-C Camera Award, if you can take a wild guess here, well, again, I'm giving it away with a B-roll, it's the Nikon ZF-C. Leica received the Best Rangefinder Camera Award with a Leica M11. Panasonic received 2 awards. Best Professional 4K Camera Award, and take a wild guess at which camera this is for. It shouldn't be any surprise. It was announced last year in the first half, and that's the GH6. But the Best Professional Video Camera Award, that is for the Lumix BS1H. I don't know about having BS in front of your name. They really need to work on that. Sometimes when you're coming up with names in Japan, you think it sounds good, but you really want to test that worldwide, because BS over here, well, that's not a good way to start something off. OM Systems wasn't outdone. The OM1 received Best Micro Four Thirds Camera Award. And as I said in the intro, the only camera company not to show up in the awards list, not to get any award, not for a camera, not for a lens, not for even those tiny little Christmas greeting cards that they send out every year. Pentax. You know what? I'm really surprised, because I think Pentax they definitely earned an award, and that's for the Still Making DSLRs in 2023 award, because they just released a new camera. For the life of me, I can't remember the name of it. That's how relevant, and I was going to make another crack, but you know what? I did a video a couple of years ago looking at DSLR versus mirrorless, and I never really got taken away by the whole mirrorless thing. I didn't see the point to it. To me, it was all about what outcomes and what capabilities a camera could deliver. And I shot with a Canon 70D for many years, and many years passed where I was ready to do an update and get something more modern. And it wasn't until the Canon EOS R5 came onto the scene that I thought, you know what, I'm ready to upgrade. And even though this camera's 3 times the budget of what I was looking at, the R5 checked all the boxes, and I couldn't care less that it's a mirrorless camera. It could have been a DSLR, but it's the fact that it delivered really good results. And Pentax is trying something different, trying something unique. They're not rushing over to mirrorless. They're trying to focus their dollars on producing the best camera they can, and it just happens to use DSLR technology. The question is Pentax good enough to get your dollar votes? And judging by their recent market share, it looks like, well, they're in the bottom 5%, usually lumped in with others, so it's really hard to determine how well Pentax is doing. I don't want to see Pentax go anywhere because, well, they've got a very rich history in developing cameras. I do hope they gain some more market share. I don't want to see anybody leave the market, because whether you own a Sony or a Canon, and right there is almost 70% of the market. Actually, it's probably more than 70%. So Canon's got about 49%. Sony around 27% last. That's almost 75, 76, 77%. And that leaves what? Just under 25% for everybody else. But each of those cameras on the market, whether it be a Panasonic with the S5 Mark II, or sorry, the S5, the Panasonic Lumix S5 Mark II or the Mark II-X, Panasonic produces really good cameras that are very innovative. And now that they've finally got a phase detect autofocus system, I'm really curious to see what they do with the refresh, the S1 and the S1H in terms of, I just, all the video capabilities that they had before, I appreciated them, but I didn't appreciate them nearly as much until I saw them release phase detect autofocus systems. So I think Panasonic has taken on a new shine. And I think as they refresh new cameras, we're expecting Panasonic to refresh the whole S-series line, at least the S1 and the S1H, sometime this year. And as we're in the middle of April now, we're coming into the middle of April, we could get an announcement. It could be sometime in May. And if we don't get anything by the end of May, well, then we might have to wait until October, September, October, or even early November. Camera announcements are getting pushed later into the year. And if you want to stay up to date on all the latest camera news and rumors, well, then do yourself a favor and also do me a favor, because honestly, it really does help this channel grow if you choose subscribe, or you click that subscription button, but don't forget to choose all notifications. And the reason for doing that is if you want to stay up to date on the latest camera news and rumors, so that way as soon as I publish a video, you get notified. That's why you want to do that, but also check your spam and junk mail folder, because a lot of times those emails go into there. And if you want to stay up to date on all the minor news and rumors, well, then follow me on my Twitter account, because I'm constantly putting out, I think the other day I put out 7 different tweets. If it's a new lens, a new camera, a rumor of a new lens or a new camera, or if it's a really good deal, a good sale, well, that's where I put those tweets out, because if it's not big enough to have its own separate video, I don't want to waste your time. I think the Twitterverse is perfect for that. But that's it for now. Have yourself a great weekend, and we'll see you again soon.